A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Trump said the U.S. has enough ammunition to fight Iran and other wars forever, while Tehran ratcheted up retaliatory strikes and targeted U.S. diplomatic missions and key energy centers in the Persian Gulf. During a White House meeting with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, Von Caucane reports the president said the U.S. has a tremendous amount of munitions ready to use against Iran, and that it was his opinion that Iran was going to attack the U.S. first. He also pushed back on assertions that Israel wanted to go to war with Iran and dragged the U.S. along. United States embassies in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia closed after apparent Iranian drone attacks, while U.S. diplomatic outposts in Iraq and Dubai also reportedly came under fire. Iran also fired missile barrages against oil fields and refineries across the Gulf. The escalating conflict is now taking a clear economic toll, with the stock market plunging and oil prices surging abroad. But national security correspondent Bill Gertz believes there's one positive: it could undermine China's oil-based economy. If the Iranian regime eventually collapses and is replaced with a more Western-aligned government, the result could severely affect China's ability to fuel its economy. Trump plans to visit China next month, and it's not clear whether China will rescind its invitation for the visit in response to the attacks on Iran. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem tacitly acknowledged her overzealous denunciations of Americans that were killed by her agents in Minneapolis. In her first testimony since the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, Stephen Dinan reports Noem declined repeated invitations to apologize directly to their families for labeling their protests as domestic terrorism, claiming she was going by what her officers were telling her from the scene. Several Republicans joined Democrats in criticizing Noem's tenure at the department. North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis said the department has been a total disaster under her leadership, and Louisiana Senator John Kennedy targeted the department's approval of $220 million in contracts to run ads telling illegal immigrants to deport themselves. Noem prominently featured herself in the ads. Pediatric trials are quietly underway to support prescribing GLP-1 medications for obesity in children younger than 12, despite concerns about their long-term effects on developing bodies. Sean Salai reports GLP-1 drugs are rarely prescribed for children and teens with diabetes or obesity, and only then in lower doses for severe cases starting at age 12. However, insiders predict that clinical testing will expand access in the next 3 to 5 years as obesity rates soar for children ages 6 to 11. Physicians say minors using GLP-1s must work with a dietitian, a psychologist, and an exercise specialist to ensure healthy results. And finally, Maine Senator Susan Collins is campaigning to remind voters how her seat atop the Senate Appropriations Committee has steered billions of federal dollars back home. Seth MacLachlan reports Maine voters will judge Collins' record again this fall, when she'll be the only sitting Republican running in a state that did not vote for Donald Trump in 2024. Democrats will need to flip the seat to have any chance of taking control of the Senate. Collins is also running in a moment of deep polarization that has energized anti-establishment candidates. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.